sometimes you got to work hard in this world. And so I spent a lot of time, with Google employees and with Google Cloud Platform, really learning the nuts and bolts. And all clouds are built on almost the same framework. They might have just a different operating system, Unix versus Linux, things like that. But for the most part, if you know one, you can pick up another one really easily. And that's what I did.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Grow IT podcast. One of your hosts here, Trey King. And today we are very excited to have our guest, Jessica from CloudQuest. And today we'll be diving a bit into her story, as well as what her company does. And then some engaging insights into the technology industry. As you all know by now, it's always interesting. So make sure to stick around for this one. But without further ado, Jessica, welcome. Thanks for hopping on today.
Thank you.
Jessica, I think if we can maybe kick things off, if you could kindly just, introduce yourself and, just tell us a couple of snippets of your background, please.
Yeah. Well, I'm a woman-owned business, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
And I'm able to, make it as a woman-owned business, which I think a lot of women out there are kind of searching for what to do next. And I think I'm an inspiration in that way because I, took some time off. I did land management. I sold a tract of 540 acres of land and then wanted to jump back into technology. And so I jumped back into the Google Partner Program and the AWS Partner Program and really bootstrapped, all that computer science education that is completely available to every human, whether it's Azure, AWS, or GCP. And it's essentially a minor in computer science. And so if you go through specifically GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform's education, they will give you credit at the university level for a computer science degree. And that's what I did. So that was awesome. So I jumped back in, and a lot of people tell me, oh, Jess, it's too hard. And I'm like, you know what? Nothing good comes from being lazy. Sometimes you got to work hard in this world. And so I spent a lot of time, with Google employees and with Google Cloud Platform, really learning the nuts and bolts. And all clouds are built on almost the same framework. They might have just a different operating system, Unix versus Linux, things like that. But for the most part, if you know one, you can pick up another one really easily. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Jessica, you've got a wealth of experience and, rightfully so, you've done this for quite some time. Based on your expertise, what are like the current market trends that you're aware of in your industry? What ways are the winds blowing these days?
Okay, so for me personally, I've been picking up as many infrastructure AI projects as I possibly can. These are AI projects that interface drones, with weather management systems, with vegetation management systems, with submersible drones, LiDAR technology, which is an imaging system, which, you can LiDAR. We found some amazing archaeological installments using LiDAR. LiDAR is valuable. It's satellite technology. It's wonderful. And I think what's really great about what we're doing right now is we're trying to help humanity, because some of the infrastructure projects are going into sewer systems that are 50, 60 years old, maybe 100 years old, going out and scanning the grid. Everybody knows that we're in an electrical revolution. And so our grid is so important, and maintaining our grid is critical.
Right.
The poles of our grid, the insulators, the transformers. We also make sure through AI and drone technology that we keep our substations safe. There's a lot of threats out there right now, and you can take down one substation and, it's not a good thing. And with drone technology connected to AI on the edge, which is right there on that drone, you can immediately decrease risk for an entire population of humans.
My word, that is fascinating. I think this is maybe a good time, if you don't mind, just to, elaborate a bit more and explain to the audience, what is it specifically what your company does?
My company basically leverages the cloud, and because we're a diversity supplier, and we're working with talent across the globe, India, the Philippines, Argentina, Canada, everywhere, China. We're able to bring in a very diverse set of thoughts, and it bring in something called human in the loop. Okay.
Right.
Human in the loop. And lots of people are scared about AI, but really AI is going to be able to just really project us into the future, into a place where we can solve problems with plastic, problems with pharmaceutical, problems with our infrastructure. We all know, we all get frustrated when we're driving down the street and there's this big pothole and we're like, why can't the city, county, state fix this? Well, with new, it's true, right? Like, you get so
Yeah.
frustrated.
Yeah.
You're like, why is this happening? Why is there like a 6-foot pothole here? Well, with AI technology, we're going to be able to scan vast tracts of our cities, of our counties, of our provinces, wherever you are, and we're going to be able to rapidly give that information then back in to the system, where we can then schedule maintenance tickets. We can figure out how much that's going to cost. How much is that going to cost from the taxpayer? I have a great example. Let me give you these examples.
Please.
Excel Energy, Pacific Energy Corporation in Oregon, Excel in Texas, both had massive billion-dollar fires. Why did they have fires? They had vegetation growing over their electrical wires. Okay? With the AI technology that I help capitalize on the cloud, whether it's NVIDIA or Azure or AWS or Google, it doesn't matter what your backbone is. That is something called a GPU processor, a graphical processing unit,
Right.
okay? And we're able to quickly scan the grid and say, hey, we got a tree down in Oregon and it could cause a fire. Well, you know what? If we mitigate that risk quick and easy and we take down that tree, we fix the wire, we've just avoided someone's home being
Yes.
torched.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
is
what my company does, is that I come in, I'm like part of the program management, project management. I'm a gritty worker. I actually roll up my sleeves with engineering. I, do the work plans. I do level 1 ML, which is level 1 machine learning, which is training the machine to look for all these hazards that we have in our life. And then level 2 is tuning that and connecting to all the contractors and everybody that could rectify that problem quickly and easy without starting a billion-dollar fire.
excellent. That is that's so much profound. And I could clearly hear, there's a lot of value that your business, brings to the table. Now, I'm curious though, out of your own words, you've mentioned, like I said, a lot of value that your company brings. What would you say is like the most significant value your business brings to other businesses?
Well,
Because it's quite a lot,
engineering
right?
is a hard job. Look, engineering is a hard job. It's
Right.
a really hard job. And engineering is changing so fast, right out from under everyone's feet. Engineering is just, it's such a rapid cycle. And my business is able to come in and work with engineering teams, and really be culturally sensitive to all those engineering teams and where they're from and what their, methodology is working, and creating symmetry across the globe so that we can all focus on solving these big problems, because these are
Right.
big problems. Whether the fire is, in a subdivision in Korea, or the fire is somewhere in Chile, or the fire is somewhere in, America, we're all facing these same problems. And if you read history, because I know everybody's just geeked out about Rome, they faced the same problems too, but they didn't have AI, and they didn't have people like me so passionate about solving these human problems,
Mm.
in infrastructure, in order to collaborate and bring all the best and the brightest, no matter what you are around the world, whatever language you speak. We've got language translators for engineers. We've got all kinds of technology, so that there's no more barriers, so that we can work together and we can rapidly exchange ideas. And now with these very progressive cloud platforms that are trying to expand. AWS is going nuclear. Microsoft is reopening 3 Mile Island. Think about it. AI is going to be able to transform our power because it's going to give us new ideas about nuclear fission. It's going to give us new ideas about transmission, about how we can go wireless, how we can have pocket energy. We can have little nuclear, reactors and pocket energy that literally are the size of our phone in 50 years. This is going to revolutionize, the
Yes.
ability to make water and pull water down from the atmosphere so that nobody goes thirsty in this world. All of that is something that my company is very, very keen on working with. There's companies out there called Bright AI. There's all kinds of other AI solution property companies that are like looking at how we can do this. And those are the companies that I'm contracting with. Those are the companies I'm working with. I'm working with Exelon Energy, the largest grid in North America, to solve some of these very interesting problems and use AI. At the same time, AI is very hungry power-wise.
Right.
It is. And so it's kind of the chicken or the egg, right? We got to figure out our next level, which would be, level 2. We have to figure out our next level energy situation, which is like the nuclear power plants and making them clean and making them run correctly, making that the water that we use for these data centers is, thoughtfully used and that we can recycle it back into the grid and the system for water. All of these things, it takes doers. It takes people that don't just pontificate, but actually write things down, send them out, translate them into 3 different languages, make sure those 3 different languages people can understand them, and actually move the ball. Actually move. It's so easy for people to talk about. It's a lot harder in practice. People have to love solutioning. They have to be passionate about what they do because, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes this is very long hour work.
That is such good insight, firstly. And then, just to latch on to that, you've been obviously women-owned business, growing your company, and I'm sure you might agree that it's not always sunshine and roses, especially when you started out with your business, right? And there's always a couple of bumps along the road, the good and the bad and the ugly, as they say. To grow your business to a point where it's flourishing the way it's doing now, and obviously breaking through glass ceilings. The what, in your opinion, what type of mindset, Jess, would you say is needed to be a successful founder of a company?
Okay, 2 things. One's funny and one's factual. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Let's start with facts. Let's start with facts. One is the Stanford growth mindset. This is fact. Okay. You can Google it, Stanford growth mindset. It says that you can grow your brain. Now, it may not be pleasant and it may be a little uncomfortable and you may have to work at it and work at it and work at it and work at it. That's the 10,000 rule, the outliers. But what it says is that you can grow no matter if you're, 9 or 90. You can grow your brain, and growing your brain is so important. Right. So that's fact. That I have just given you a study. Go Google it. Stanford growth mindset. There's a ton of research that Stanford did on this. Very tangible, practical, quantifiable research. The second thing is the funny thing.
Yeah.
I love to quote Ted Lasso, be a goldfish. If you mess up, everybody messes up. Okay, be a goldfish, move on. I tell myself all the time, be a goldfish, Jess, be a goldfish, be a goldfish. If I don't do something right, or if I need to have a growth moment, if I need to have a growth mindset and have a growth moment and change, the way I interact with something, or the way I solution something, or the way I need to work on something, or whatever it is, be a goldfish. Wake up the next day. Don't have a memory of the bad stuff, have a memory of the good stuff, and then just keep going. So that, and 2 things. One is actually, data and research. And the second thing is, when you get down, when you're not having a good day, when you maybe have done something wrong, to remember that Ted Lasso, be a goldfish, glub, 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 just keep going, just keep going is really important to be successful.
Excellent. And then lastly from my side, these a lot of our audience are young, on the younger side of life, and they've got aspirations of being an entrepreneur. And are there maybe like one or two uh snippets or one or two things that you can possibly share that that you can give some advice for the younger ones that's wanting to enter
Yeah.
the industry what you're in?
Now, I do not want to make this a gendered thing because I don't believe in that. But here's what I will say. A lot of women, when I say that I'm in computer science, they go, so hard. Okay, look, lady, here's the deal. Lots of great things are hard. Okay? And I think I would say that across the board to Generation Z, Generation Alpha. Remember, we still have Alpha out there.
Yeah,
Everybody talks about Generation Z, but Generation Alpha, they're quickly coming up. And I'd
yeah,
like to tell you that sometimes really good things sprout from the dirty dirt of hard, the gritty, dirty, hard. You got to get in there. It might be tough. It's going to be uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, it is. But you know what? Good and truth and happiness sometimes spring from that well. It's just true.
right. Right. That's golden nuggets, as they say. Well, Jess, I need to thank you for coming on. You've provided
Yeah.
such, insightful points, as well as I can fully understand, why your business is so successful. And
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in your business, and may you just grow from strength to strength. And then just lastly, where can the audience, where can they get a hold of you guys?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jessica Blischke, Blischke. You can just give me a Google. I'm Jessica Blischke, PMP, and you can find me out there on LinkedIn. I think that's the safest, happiest way to find me.
Excellent. Well, thank you for hopping on, and all the best. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.